Good evening. We had ended on Saturday the satsang at verse 17, the last chapter, verse 20th. So we will be starting from verse 18 onwards. Now, just a small recap for what has happened in the last couple of verses. The gunas affect every human being. Now, when a person is having when you are very, very happy, cheerful, kind, compassionate, and you feel good about everything, the world looks like a very happy and a good place also. Even you will not be able to see anything negative in the world. You are always able to see a lot of positivity. Then you should know that you are having the sattva guna which is rising inside of you. But if a person is continuously interested in working and has motivation of only making money, name, fame, fortune, is driven by his family or his children or whatever the objective could be. There are definite some kind of a goal set thing that he has done. I want to achieve this. I want to get there. Then this kind of an activity, which doesn't make the person rest even for a bit, is always fidgety, is moving here and there all the time. His mind is in a frenzy. Mind keeps on wandering. He keeps on thinking, oh, I should do this, oh, I should do that, this should what I should do, that is what I should do. Such a kind of a person is having the rajas. The rajas activity is going up. So this is where we had ended last time. So now we are going to continue from the next verse. So we are doing Uddhava Gita, chapter 20, verse 19. 18, sorry. So this is Uddhava Gita, last message of Sri Krishna. Chapter 20, verse 18. When the mind stuff, being fatigued, is unable to reflect the self and droops, and the mind is vacant, and there is ignorance and dejection, know this to be the sign of tamas. Now, if this was a class and if I would have told you, raise your hands, you will find that 99% of the people would have raised their hands. Me, teacher, me. Because you will find that most of the people feel totally drained out and tired. Very easy to blame even the universe, the atmosphere, the weather outside, you name it. Anything can be named. You can put your finger onto even people have been troubling me a lot. The devil is there. You see, all these things can be directed towards some outside force also. It could be that, oh, I am having an evil eye. This is how people look at it. That is why I feel so tired, drained out, energyless. I just don't want to do anything in my life right now. Can I just go to sleep? I can't even sleep. I feel tired even while sleeping. And if you tell me I have to close my eyes, I get a lot of those, attacks, dreams. This is how a person talks. So this is what happens to that person. The self droops. You feel totally exhausted. I don't know what I am going to do. They have the problem of even walking and even talking. You should look at their expressions on their faces. They are literally as if it's a drooping flower or something which is totally like this show in the movies. The sun is sucking up the energy from the person's head by means of a straw. They have shown in some ad. This person looks exactly like that. And he has no life. Physically tired. So such a kind of a person where the self itself is taking a back seat. There is no brightness, there is no sunshine in that person's life. Though they might have done some very grand work, and yet they will give all kinds of reasoning. So the mind is vacant at that point. I can't think straight. Why? Because, oh, I feel so exhausted and tired in my mind also. This person has drained me out of the energy. See, when somebody is blamed you, or somebody has maybe taken an interview, or maybe you had a big fight with your spouse, or you have gone to the hospital and you might have taken a coronavirus shot also. Don't worry, you are going to feel all these things come upon you, because that is nothing but ignorance and dejection. Your mind becomes vacant. There is no activity there. You feel totally left out, drained, tired. At such times you will say, somebody has overtaken me. I feel the devil inside of me. I feel that ghost inside of me. This is what happens. Please know, these are the signs of tamas. All that I said in the last 5 minutes is nothing but tamas. This yuga is tamasic. Please note, this yuga is tamasic. Everybody is affected by the yuga. The Kali Yuga is 100% tamasic in nature. It is going to drive you towards laziness, boredom, lethargy, inertia, ignorance. These are the terms. The moment you tick one of those terms, oh, I feel very, very lethargic. I feel very tired, drained up. You are the right candidate for tamas to go up in you. I hope you understood this. So next time, don't blame somebody else outside, okay? The stars are not affecting you. People have this habit of blaming everyone. Oh, the stars are affecting me, I went to my astrologer and he was telling me, this is my Shani Dasha going on. That is why I feel so tired and exhausted. And the inertia which is accompanying this life, this lifestyle, is such that it is going to drive you towards that. How does this happen? I will give you one simple example. Our lifestyle is totally different than what the lifestyle was there many years ago. A person was active, he was positive, wanted to do hundreds of things. All right? You could have been a Rajasic person or a Sattvic person. But then, the lethargy sets in. You take, for example, the phone, the activity which is connected to the phone. With one click, you make payment. Suppose you have to make a payment to someone. Earlier, you would have issued a check or maybe done a bank transfer, for which you may have to log into the banking network and then do the transfer. Prior to that, you would have gone to the bank. There were so many methods. You had to physically go to the bank and do. But today, in the comforts of your house, you have transferred the funds. And then you feel drained out. Why? Now funds are gone. I made such a big payment, This is the first thought that comes to your mind. What have you done? On the phone app you have made payment. Maybe you have paid the electricity bill. The bill could have been 5,000 rupees. And yet you make the payment. Oh, I made the payment to the electricity department. Okay? Earlier, what would you have done? 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, do you know what was the process? Just to pay one electricity bill, first you have to go and get the bill. Normally, the bill would have had some hundreds of errors. I can tell you for sure because in the last 50 years of my life, I have seen how the bills come. The person might come to check your bill, might come to check your electricity meter. And then someday the bill would come. Now, one person will come to your door, he will just take a reading and immediately, one printer is there with him, poor fellow. He will just do like this and then the bill will come out and it goes to you. And now become, what they say is paperless office. So don't have to do that. It will come via email. For having the email, you need either a phone or an email account. All the new gadgets are required. Of course, the computer is required. And why not buy the best of the computers? Apple. So this is how it works. To pay that electricity bill, you had to take out the physical copy of the bill. And the electricity board department used to have a queue 1 kilometer long. Because everybody's bills are issued at one time, so people will be standing outside. I have personally stood outside electricity department with the bill in hand and the cash in hand. Why? They don't take any other thing except cash. So you had stood there in the hot sun and paid the bill. And that was activity involved. Think about it. Now, the bill is paid online. Ting, ting, ting. That's it. Finished. And you get exhausted by pushing certain buttons. This is tamas, highest core tamas. Now do you get the reason why you are like this? On your phone, everything is there. This app, that app, that app, that app, money apps, all kinds of things are there. If you have seen even trading in the share markets or going to bank, all kinds of activities, everything is ting online. Earlier you wanted to book an air ticket. You had to go and stand in Air India and all those queues, big queues. Or maybe go to a travel agency. The travel agency person had the nose up in the air. Please wait in the reception. And they would have those 4-5 sheets on which they will write that thing. Okay? And sometimes they would make mistakes and they will never accept it. So there was a long paper, which they would issue air bill, like you're flying from Mumbai to Delhi, like that. And for that one whole day you would be going to those places. Now, you don't even bother to get a boarding pass. Your boarding pass is in an app inside the phone. How convenient is it? And how convenient is it for you to become tamasic in nature? Activity, zero. So from rajas to tamas is a very, very good jump in life. So this is how human beings have become. No need of doing anything. Physically, why should you do? There is no need of any physical activity. Earlier, you would have done physically, you would have gone and done some work. Today, you don't need to do any work. I was watching one video of a farm which is just outside Hyderabad city. This farm is over 140 acres of land. There, even the temperature is controlled, how much water is there in that is controlled, everything is controlled. And everything is done by artificial intelligence. The packaging to the final, sending the goods out, the vegetables for that matter. The vegetables have to be sorted and this and everything is done by computers. So where is the human activity? And you are eating those vegetables at home. Similarly, for all these other, the cut roses which are coming from Colombia and all those countries. Now, recently, we had that Valentine's Day. Big roses, big stems reached Americas, Europe, Asia also, I don't know where all. And people never had any clue how they landed. Everything was done by machines. Farming activity, watering activity, you name it. Even plucking the fruit is done by computers and as well as drones and God knows what all things. What is happening to the man? Man is pushing buttons. His only this finger has a problem now. Recently, two people in my know were affected. Do you know why? Because one was on the phone constantly and the second one was on the computer. So, you get the computer finger, there is a sprain, an injury because you're pushing the buttons over there. Tick, 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 tick. This is tamasic yuga. I hope you understand. This yuga is driving you nuts towards the kind of inactivity that is there. Physically, you are not doing anything. And yet, man gets tired pushing buttons. They don't go to work also. Physically, they are not even traveling to work. All the cars and everything is in their garage. Nobody is traveling to work nowadays, especially because of this pandemic. And think about it. If you are not going to work, you are working on Zoom calls and all those calls, team meetings, they call it, and all kinds of terminologies have come up. You are not even seeing your colleagues' real physical features. You don't even know. That person is only wearing clothes up to here. Below that, you don't know. And there is one background like this, very beautiful background. Or maybe they have one dog running here and there. Or maybe the mother is feeding the child. Yeah, I am taking this call when I am feeding my baby. You are mixing your work with that activity. It is tamasic guna, ma. 100% tamasic. Don't bother. You are going to become lower than tamasic also. There is one more guna which is hardly mentioned over here, which Krishna has described in the Bhagavad Gita. He says you're going to fall still further beyond the four castes that are there. You remember the caste system that we are talking about. The caste system is driven by gunas. It is not driven by, oh, I'm a Brahmin. No, it's nothing like that. Oh, I belong to the Kshatriya class. Shivaji Maharaj ki jai ho. What? Just because you are some relationship of Shivaji Maharaj, you doesn't make you anything like a Kshatriya. No way. Yesterday I met one person. The moment you entered his house, there is one very great, picture of Shivaji Maharaj. We are all Kshatriyas. I am living on my pension. Okay? Do you think Shivaji Maharaj was living on pension? He was climbing forts, sir. He was climbing on top of the hills. You should see all the beautiful forts of his, I used to visit Lohgad and Visapur, very close to my farmhouse in the past when I was a kid. Those you have to climb the mountain up so much. I was some 10, 12-year-old and I would run up the mountain to see that fort. Yeah, it was so wonderful. Nowadays you get exhausted even climbing some steps, 1 story or 2 story building, and you are finished. So this is the truth. So look at that person. Putting a picture of Shivaji Maharaj doesn't make you Maratha. Sorry. Doesn't. You don't even know what it means to be a Maratha. So, there is a fourth and the fifth class also. People are very shortly going to belong to that fifth class. Don't worry. We will create that class. If there is an unknown class, no, we will create a new known class for that. Everybody please join that. You are beyond tamasic. Come and join. Admissions are open. This is what it is. It's a sign of tamas. So now we will move to the next verse. Now we are going to understand how this interaction and the effects prevail. How do they happen to come about? So we are doing Uddhava Gita. This is Uddhava Gita, chapter 20, verse 19. When sattva increases, the gods, O Uddhava, gain in strength. When rajas increases, the asuras prevail. And when tamas increases, the rakshasas. When sattva increases, the gods prevail. When you have sattva guna in you, when you are kind, compassionate, loving, caring, you are cheerful, constantly, your mind is subdued, your mind, body, senses, they are subdued. Subdued in the sense you have control over them. And you are not attached to anybody or anything. Please understand this. Attachment makes you fall down from the sattva guna. So you are unattached. You are doing the work literally like floating. You understand what I'm saying? Then the gods are prevailing inside of you. The gods that are there have risen inside of you. You have become a godly person yourself. When the sattva rises, the goodness increases in a person. They are cheerful, kind, compassionate. They can feel the pain of people. Otherwise, it is the other way around. So now we will understand how the gods came into the picture. Think what I said just now. When your entire outlook is so positive and dynamic and you want to feel goodness around you, you are not blaming anybody. You are not saying anything bad. Not a single bad word goes from your mouth. Then please understand the gods have risen inside of you. Does that happen to you anytime? Once in a while it will happen. Maybe you have got your admission letter. Maybe you have won a lottery ticket. Maybe you are happy that your mother is now recovering or your father is on the bed of recovery. They are doing really very well. Or you find that the dream that you had of doing something has come true. That one day in your life you may be floating on the, literally like an angel. On that day, the gods have risen. But only one day. After that, the next day comes. Or just a few hours later, everything tanks. You might have bought a new car. There are some fancy cars in the marketplace. They call some MG or something like that. I don't know. Hector, Vector. Some names are there. And they are all driving. Ooh, like that. I'm driving a new MG Vector. Hector. Okay. Yes, very good. MG stands for what? Morris Garage. Oh, Morris garage, the mini Morris, I remember, yes, olden times they used to have, that Mr. Bean and everybody goes in that Chota Morris car. Yes, of course I know. Morris garage, huh? India is selling those cars. Chinese company, they bought over. Now when they are buying over companies left, right and center, do you even know whom you are paying money to? We used to have ambassador cars in India. Those ambassadors have become nobody now. The production is finished. All right. So what is India making? India is making all foreign cars. They used to be one country which was so famous for cars. Okay. The whole town, the big city. Okay. Detroit it was called. Full of cars. Okay. General Motors, Chrysler, Ford Motors, big names were there. Today, where are they? Nowhere. Nowhere. The Japanese came up. Now the Chinese are coming in. But you are happy. You bought a nice car. Very good. There is a problem in the market. How many people know this? I don't know. The computer chips which are fitted inside your car, which does all kinds of nonsensical jobs, is no longer available. That's why most of the deliveries are pending because of that. But there is a problem. Now, when this happens, that little joy which you had, I brought a car, will go down. Because even when it says free service, you still end up paying 12,000-15,000 rupees. And you say, oh, but I was supposed to get a free service. The first service is free, second service is free. 3 years I got free service. Where? End of the day, you are still paying a bill. And the prices of petrol and diesel, oh my goodness gracious. We are sitting on petrol and diesel, but the prices have gone up. Now do you get the point? That little bit of happiness, it's like putting a puncture and it goes away. When the sattva rises in a person, he has to be happy 24/7, sir. Not just for 1 hour, 2 hours of your life, not at all. Sattva guna means you are actually living the life of a sattva guna. You are the God yourself. Everything is so bright and cheerful. Doesn't matter. You may be going through, taking one small begging bowl and going out in the streets. It should not matter to you. You may be taking a begging bowl and going out in the streets and begging for food. And yet you may have the highest of the sattva. Because there may be 20 people who say, hey, you are a beggar, get out from here. They may say these words, doesn't matter. Why should it matter to you? They are looking at your body and talking about it. Why do you care so much? Then the gods are reigning inside of you. They have become completely sattvic, you see. Only the gods prevail then. And now we come to the next one. Gain in strength when rajas increases. I become so strong and powerful. I was able to get my work done. I went to that department, government department, and I was able to move the papers. I met with the top boss over there. I met the minister over there. That kind of a uppity nose in the air kind of an attitude that comes. Or you might have paid a heavy bribe to people and said, hey, get my work done. Whichever way you look at it, your rajas is rising. Rajas, activity based. You got certain thing done. You're so mighty pleased with it. You got money. I was able to complete my job. I got the money payment on time. Really? So if you are having this kind of thoughts going on in your mind, you might have done certain jobs and you feel happy about it. Today the gold prices are low. I went and I bought 200 kilos of gold. And you are happy because the gold prices are low. So you should see, when I was driving down on Saturday, the gold shops, they had a line outside their shops. Why? The gold prices are down. We should buy the gold, buy gold, buy gold, buy gold. Activity based, of course. When activity is there, I got 2 contracts. This week I got 2 contracts. I was able to do a lot of stuff. When you have these kind of things going on inside of your world, I wrote my examination. This is March. So, I wrote my examination. I wrote very well. Okay, you wrote very nicely. Yeah, what? Are you going to get first class? Yeah, I'll get admission. IIT. When you say these kind of words, your activity is increased. And you may be feeling top of the world now. It is, please let it be known to you, it is nothing but your rajas has increased. What has increased? Rajas. Rajasic activity has gone up. And when the rajas increases, the asuras prevail. Do you know who the asuras are? Those are the dangerous kind. Asuras are different than Rakshasas. Please remember this. Asuras are the negative characters. Have you seen those villains in the film? With a big mustache like that. I mean, in olden times they used to depict this kind of villains. Nowadays the villains look more like a different community, a sect which is completely different. The villains do not even look like a man, not a human from any point of view. They are dressed very weirdly. They have tattoos all over their face and body and everywhere. And I don't know how these villains also nowadays look. So please understand. Now imagine you are ruled by this activity based. Then all the asuras are taking joy. Yeah, we got it done. Yeah. If there were gods, they would not be dancing in joy. No. If the Sattva Guna was prevalent, you are not going to be dancing in joy and making fun and doing all those kind of things. Nothing like that will happen. If you feel accomplished, if you feel reached a goal, if you feel that you have achieved something, and if you feel, yes, I got my work done, then such a kind of a person is making the rajas increase, and then the asuras are prevailing in him. It is called the Asuric Shakti. The Asuric Shakti makes a person very, very Rajasic in nature. He wants to gain in strength. He wants to become all powerful. He wants to show the world, I want to become the chief minister. I want to become the president and the prime minister. He is going to talk like that. He is going to be the Politburo chief. You got what I'm saying? This person has got ambition. Every person who has got ambition has got asuras in them. Let me tell you this much. You have dynamic asuras, all these activities going on in your world, and you're going to achieve certain things, then your asuric shakti is growing because of rajas. Huh? Did you get the point? Adrenaline is flowing inside of you. You see, if the sattva was increasing, there is no adrenaline flowing. Okay, you might have achieved an objective. There is no adrenaline flowing. There is no, happy syndrome. Nothing like that. You're placid. You are like Buddha. Cool. Cool dude, they say, no? Cool dude, yes. But when Asura is increasing, wow, great guns, you're doing this, you're going to that, and that. You may be carrying a placard next to you saying that I did it. You've seen that Women's Day woman like that? That is Asuric Shakti. Any person who is showing that kind of an activity in life, we are winning. There was a young girl who got arrested just a few days ago. At that time, she never said a word. Her lawyers said, okay, we will handle it. She was put in jail because of certain problems that she created. I think it's connected to politics or something. I don't know. Now she's out of the jail. And you should see the interviews that she's giving. It just shows nothing but rise in tamas. They are all, comparing her to that young girl, 15, 16-year-old girl called Greta Thunberg or something like that. But why? That is a rise in asura. If your asuric shakti is growing, your rajas is growing. I will destroy you in this election. I can kill you. And people are having this kind of talk going on. When you have this kind of talk going on, please understand it's a rise of rajas. And the asuras have risen. Then you are willing to do anything wrong also in your life because you think it is right. You believe that what you are doing is right. And your innermost thoughts say, yes, I did the right thing. I had to destroy this person. Destroy what? At what cost? So now I hope you understood. The asuras are those. They are also called demonical characters, by the way. Okay, they are demons. So now let us see when the tamas increases, what happens? When the tamas increases, the rakshasas come into the picture. Anybody who believes I could do it, I really love to make these expressions. I'm sure, those who are looking at my satsang must be enjoying. Guruji is on a roll, they will say. Isn't that what you think? Guruji is on a roll. Yeah, I have to show you how the Rakshasas look like, isn't it? So I have to be on the roll most of the time. So now imagine with the two fangs sticking from here. Okay. I don't know which brush they use, by the way. If those two fangs are sticking, or because all the Rakshasas seem to have some fangs coming out like this, and then, I don't know, some horn sticking up. God knows. When your tamas increases, this is what happens to you. Fangs are coming out from you. You become more like Dracula. And we are back. Yeah, they didn't want me to say Dracula word, I think. Or maybe the fangs. The internet didn't want me to say. So now we are back. So, did you get the point? These are called Rakshasi Shaktis. Rakshas. If you have anger in you, if you are driven by anger, I want to destroy that person. I don't like this person. I hate this person. If you have these kind of thoughts going on in your mind, I'll show the world. When the thoughts of destruction, evil-mindedness, something to do with I will take charge. What are you doing actually? Anger is the root cause of putting you in the tamasic mode. The difference between rajas and tamas is this. Anger because you may not have got what you wanted. Rajas, you have got what you wanted and you are successful. So the success makes you like that. Anger, when you have not got it and you want to destroy the world and you want to do something bad about it. That is tamas. Did you get the difference? Please remember this difference. The first one is success based. Second one is defeat based. Because anger rises when your desires are not met. You had applied and your application got rejected. And you say, I will show this world. That is tamasic. Your Rakshasis, all these Rakshasas have come into the picture. The Rakshasas are more powerful than Asuras. Please remember this. Okay. Got the answer? Asuras look like human beings. Rakshasas don't look like human beings. They are really evil people. Evil. Did you get it? The Rakshasi Shakti inside a person rises when you feel, yeah, I want to sleep now. I'll show the world. These kind of things happen. When your tamas rises, you are powering the Rakshasi Guna of yours, the Rakshas inside. So when the tamas increases, the Rakshasas rise. Did you get this? So for a Sattva Guna, the gods rise in a person. For the Tamo Guna, the Rakshasas rise. And the in between. Alright. So, gods rise in Sattva, Asuras rise in Rajas, and Rakshasas rise in Tamas. Remember this. Next time you understand, when you see anger coming in a person, when you feel like doing something wrong, and you want to destroy the one because you are not able to achieve your objective, that time please understand, it is the Rakshasas which have risen inside of you. And when you feel like gloating, aha, I have achieved my objective, at that time please understand, the Asuras are risen. And when you have complete placidity, you feel gentle, kind, compassionate, and loving, the gods have risen. This is what happens inside your being. You, all you human beings, remove the human from first. Today, what are you called? Homo sapien. Okay? So, human being you are called. So, if you are Sattva Guna based, then you become God being. If you are Rajas based, then you are Asuric being. And if you have Tamas inside of you, please know you are a Rakshasi being. Got it clear? Very good. So now let us move to the next verse. So we are doing Uddhava Gita, chapter 20, verse 20. From Sattva, one should expect wakefulness in a man, from Rajas dreams, and from Tamas sleep. The fourth or superconscious state persists throughout all the three. Wonderful, isn't it? Krishna is not denying that you can still reach God. Krishna is telling Uddhava, if you have sattva, then you feel wakeful. You are in the wakeful state. You feel alive. You feel doing something. You are basically always very active person. That means your eyes are open. They are not drooping. They are not doing like this. You may have driven for 10 hours, doesn't matter. Still you will be bright, cheerful, and you will be doing something nice. You're not going to tell the driver who cuts you in the middle, saying that, I'll show you. No. You are in a wakeful state. But when you are in the Rajasic, you are completely in the world of dreams. You are dreaming most of the time. Actually, you are floating in the dreams all the time. And the dreams could be of anybody, by the way. The dreams could be of your victory. It could be of some god. It could be of some devil. It could be some demon, some old people dying. Basically, you are in a dream world of yours. And when the tamas is there, at that point in time, you are absolutely snoring away, full of deep sleep. You don't even know what you are doing. You see? You are actually snoring. You don't know what is happening around you. You are, maybe your mouth is open and you are fast asleep. That is what increases. When tamas is there, you are sleepy. Sleep increases. But the but is important because if the fourth or the superconscious state persists throughout all the three. In all these three states, the superconscious state, not the body, but the being inside of you, the self is there. This superconscious state is always there, whether you like it or not. Even in your sleep state, the superconscious state exists. It is not doing anything, but it is there. It is a witness. It can watch you oversleeping. Okay, this person is sleeping. And it is also watching you when you are dreaming. I am going to do this and I am going to do that. I am going to make a fancy palace tomorrow. I'm going to become a prime minister. I'm going to become a chief minister. I'm going to do this. I'm going to win my elections. If you're going to join some, fancy university degree you're going to get. Yesterday I met one young girl. I want to become a police officer. 16 or an 18-year-old girl saying that. Very good. Rajas is growing. You're dreaming of achieving something. Congratulations. Rajas is there. Asuric Shakti will rise inside of you. But if you feel lazy, I feel so tired, then please understand you are that sleepy head. Okay? Then tamas is increased. But those who want to do something good in this world, for them, they are in the wakeful state. 24/7 also they are awake. They don't sleep. More or less they are like that. The Sattva Guna people are mostly awake. You see, for them, sleep is never the problem. They can just close their eyes and be off for 10 minutes and be awake next 10 minutes. They say, what happened, sir? Oh, and they would have fallen asleep and woken up, and yet they are aware of everything that has happened. Got it? So the Sattva Guna people are constantly awake. The Rajoguna people, they are constantly in the state of dynamic activity. That is why dream world is there. They are in the dream world. And the Tamasi Guna, they are basically the lazy fellows, sleeping. Always they're tired, don't know what to do. I will see later on. I'll do it tomorrow. And they will find reasons for not doing anything. Let us say, at least you have to feel happy about some things. In the Rajas Guna, a person feels pleased with himself and he shows it on his face and is dynamically active. But a Rajoguna person is like that. Tamoguna person, even if you tell that person, the kind of face that a person makes, even you might have achieved Mount Everest, climbed the Mount Everest. Yeah, very good. So, what is the big deal? In the year 1947, I have also achieved the highest mountain in the world. They have this idiocy of talking like this. Earlier, I could do this kind of a work. Why not now? Oh. So, at that point in time, please understand, though they are walking dead. You know that Walking Dead? You must have seen those serials, like that they are. They are walking dead. No expression on their face. And they look sleepy most of the time. This is Tamoguna. Rakshasas are there inside of them. Rakshasi Shakti. Those who are active fellows, they have the Asuric Shakti. Yeah. In our Hindi movies, we have that nice, laughter they have. Like that. I don't know whether those who see the serials and all will come to know. When the person laughs, like the Ravan from the Ramayana serial, he laughs. I don't know why Ravan will laugh. Common sense will tell you Ravan will never laugh. Correct? Though he is the epitome of Rajas. In his world also, there were three guys, right? And the three guys were distributed amongst these gunas. Highest point was Ravan. He was full of Rajas. His brother was there. Kumbhakarna, he was always asleep. He would eat for 6 months, and 6 months he would be fully asleep. You had to take an army to wake him up. And then there was the third brother who was always thinking about Ram, 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 Ram. Okay, Vibhishan his name was. And yeah, he is called the Sattva Guna. So even in this Ramayana, you think it is not there? And who was the fourth one? Does anybody know who was the fourth one? Three guys, I named it. Let us start from Tamas. Tamas is who? Tamas is Kumbhakarna. So we have on one side the last guy, his name was Kumbhakarna. He was Rakshasi Shakti. The Asuric Shakti was with Ravana. The Daivi Shakti, which is connected to the guna of Sattva, was with Vibhishan. And then the consciousness which prevailed in all this was Sri Ram. Did you get the point? Sri Ram is the one which prevails in all the gunas. Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. He is constant everywhere. But do you think Kumbhakarna will find him? Never. Do you think Ravana will find him? Not at all. And do you think Vibhishan will find? 100%. Because that is what Krishna is saying. Alright, and we are going to do the next verse which is going to tell us the same thing. We are doing chapter 20, Uddhava Gita, verse 21. Through Sattva, men rise higher and higher up to the sphere of Brahma. Through Tamas, they sink lower and lower, down to the state of vegetable existence. And through Rajas, they remain in between the two stages. This is something which you need to be very, very, interested in. If your Sattva is rising higher and higher, the goodness is flowing from you. You are always in a state of ecstasy, happiness, peaceful, kind, compassion. Everything is rising. Sattva grows. You up, 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 up. You rise higher and higher and higher and higher. You rise to the sphere of Brahma. Did you get the point? The Brahma sphere. So let me give you an understanding of this. Once we finish the verse, I will tell you. If you are in the tamasic mode, like that kind of, or maybe sleeping. If you are in that state, please understand, you are going to sink lower and lower and lower to the state of a vegetable. You will be in a vegetative state. You are going to become a worm. Don't bother. You may be even becoming a worm which is in the lactic acid. You see, it creates milk, becomes curd. That worm also you can be. Who says you can't be that kind of a bacteria? You can be that also. So as the tamas grows in a person, laziness increases, inactivity grows. Person doesn't want to do anything, tells lies, gives reasoning, all kinds of nonsensical thing he does. Such a kind of a person goes lower and lower and lower in this world. Somebody asked me a question. So if there is a tamasic person, Krishna, what will you do? I said, don't worry, I will consume him. He'll become the gut bacteria of Krishna, you see. He's still inside Krishna, isn't it? But a worm inside Krishna's body, come on. That is bad. It's not worm. In the body there are lots of places where they require these kind of things. They called it the flora and the fauna in the stomach. I'm sure you know that. If you don't know, Google it and see. There are those tiny creatures inside every human being. They are digesting the stuff. They are doing some activity inside your being. They are called the good bacteria. So maybe if there is a person who is from the Tamo Guna, who is doing good work, and though he might have fallen to the level of a worm, don't worry. He may be a gut bacteria of Krishna. Who knows? Good enough, isn't it? So please understand. Tamoguna, this is what you become. You go lower and lower and lower and lower till you become a vegetable. And if you are in between in the Rajoguna, then you're going to be floating in between, Activity based, remember, you are activity based. You are that Asurik Shakti. You got the Asurik Shakti. You are the Ravana. Ravana, didn't I tell you? He was full of Rajas. Huh? That's exactly what happens to a person. Shishupal. Right? Those kind of people. That is what happens to person. I will show Krishna, he says. I will show Sri Ram, he says. Don't worry. In between there are lots of stages. And for the Asuric world, this whole world is open. So I told you the little stuff which I told you. You know, there is one study of called hierarchy of needs. Go study hierarchy of needs. You will find that when you reach the sphere of Brahma, you have risen above the basic necessities of life. Then you want to have cars and this and that. When you rise higher than that, that is the state. But if you are basically interested in your day-to-day eating food, and yes, trying to achieve your objective, and yes, all other activities also involved in it, then you are in the Rajoguna. And if you feel lazy, don't want to do even lifting your finger, maybe you lift your finger to only tap the phone. Okay, you put an alarm, but you don't get up. Such kind of a person is Tamas Guna. So I hope I have explained this to you. So we have come to verse 21. Verse 21, and we will stop over here. So next time, this coming weekend, we will be doing verse 22 onwards. Take care and have a great evening. I'll see you all later tomorrow in the morning for the Bhagavad Gita Satsang. Bye.